Hey everybody, Steve Przebrowski here. Welcome to tip number 45 on the series 101 Tips to Ace Your Next Promotional Examination. So let's get going here. All right, as a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has lots of great information on there to help you or anybody else that you may be mentoring, hopefully are mentoring, because the may is not an option. We all have an obligation to pay it forward. All right. And this is based upon my 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam book, published this year from Fire Engineering and available off their website, fireengineeringbooks.com, or my website. Nice little 25% off code in the bottom. All right. Tip number 45. We've talked about different things to help you be not just prepare for the test itself, but prepare for the position. See if you haven't done so already, see if you can get elected or appointed, however your system works, probably elected, voted on by your peers, to your department's union or association executive board. Now, not every fire department has a union. Some departments have IFF union, that I've seen some Teamsters union, but most departments have either a union or an association, some type of board to help represent them. Now, not every department has collective bargaining. I get each state's different, but anyway, most departments have some elected board of folks that help represent the members' best interest on duty and maybe even off duty too, in a perfect world. So, it's one of those things that everybody, has different opinions sometimes about, their union. I hear sometimes people say, well, I don't, and I've heard this from people across the country. Well, my union doesn't represent me. Well, good, bad, or indifferent, whoever those members are in those positions, they are representing you. I'm not saying they're representing you well, but they're voted in by their peers, and it's usual voting system, election system, whoever gets the most votes usually wins. And usually it's 2-year terms, maybe a little bit more, but it is what it is. I mean, it's, and that's the challenging part. If you think you can do a better job, step up, put your name in the hat. But back to this, if you're someone that wants to go for especially a battalion chief or even higher position, but even fire officer, but definitely chief officer position, but any fire officer position, having that executive board experience is valuable, whether you're the union president or the association president, or maybe you're the secretary or treasurer, maybe you're a shift representative or shop steward, whatever you call it, A shift representative or B shift or green shift, whatever you call your shifts, or maybe you're a trustee, or maybe one of the committees, like some unions have like a human relations committee or whatever. See if you can get elected, because obviously, besides helping do your part to be a part of the solution and give back to your department and your brothers and sisters, it's a chance to really learn a lot of the bigger picture. And I think one of the things I mention a lot is when people go from firefighter to company officer, especially then to chief officer, there's some big jumps. The job of a firefighter is not the same of a job of a fire chief, nothing personal to any rank. Firefighter, very task level oriented. That's what we do as firefighters or drivers, task level stuff. When you get to company officer, it's more tactical. Then you get to battalion chief, and especially higher, it's more strategic level. Now, I think that's one of the challenges I think that we're all struggling with across the country, is that when people get promoted up the ranks, one of the biggest struggles I hear about from them, and also from those that they work with, is that the inability to see the bigger picture. And we're all guilty of that. I mean, think about it. If you've never been in the positions above you, it's hard to understand the bigger picture. Well, the benefit about being on the union executive board is that in many departments, I hope all departments, but I know in many departments, there's regular labor management meetings. Like in our department, we meet once a month, or as needed. If we need to meet earlier, we'll meet earlier, but definitely once a month, we have a standing meeting where we get together and discuss issues that are going on for the betterment of the department and obviously our members. And the union representative folks are usually, at the lower ranks, firefighter, captain, because usually most chiefs are not represented in most departments. So if you're a firefighter, engineer, or captain, and you're on the executive board, you're regularly dealing with the chief officers. Whether you like them or not, doesn't matter. But the benefit to you is that you're getting a chance to get face time. And, assuming that you're respectful, tactful, professional, mature, like all of us should be on every, no matter what our rank is, that can definitely help you, not just during the promotional process, but it may give you a leg up because you've already had a chance to see behind the curtain of what goes on. Now, there's a lot of decisions made in virtually every fire department by the command staff that the rank and file don't understand, or maybe don't believe it, or think is bullshit. I get it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But it wasn't until I was on the other side, like as a chief officer, realizing, okay, now I get it. They weren't trying to be butt heads. They weren't trying to be jackasses. They did what they had to do for the betterment of the department and for the good of the individual, you know? So getting a chance to be on the executive or executive board of the union or association really allows you to see the bigger picture. Again, you don't have to agree, or you can agree to disagree, but it allows you just to see things from bigger perspectives. So you don't come in there, you know, really unarmed I mean, I say unarmed, I mean, unarmed with knowledge and information and basically power, because, you know, of why a certain decision was made. But it's, you know, if you get the chance, I mean, as a chief officer, I wish I would have had executive board experience, because I think it would have made me a better, well-rounded chief officer. I mean, some of the best fire chiefs out there, or deputies, or assistants, or divisions, or even battalion chiefs, are men or women that have served on their department's union or association executive board. I mean, obviously that means something right there, you know. So some of the other benefits, you know, a term you may have heard me use or heard others use is soft skills. Soft skills are opposite of hard skills. Hard skills are just that, you know, don an SCBA, throw a ladder, pull a hose, things that are basically hands-on, you know, do this, you know, open the hydrant, close the hydrant. Soft skills are that, I know it sounds fluffy, stuffy, but work with me on this one. Soft skills are the probably most needed skills today of virtually everybody, regardless of rank. Now, don't get me wrong, as a firefighter, you better be able to do the tasks that need to get the job done. But soft skills are things such as communication skills, oral communication, oral is verbal, oral communication, written communication, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, decision making skills, analytical skills, people skills, basically, you know. And that's where I think, not just in the fire service, but in every industry, employers are struggling to get good quality people that have soft skills. You know, the one that can read a room and not walk in there and step all over yourself because you don't have an edit feature, or you don't have the tact and respect to not say stupid stuff. You know, that's what it comes down to, is, you know, being aware and everything else, knowing how to get along with people, basically how to play nicely in the sandbox with others. But again, it can be majorly beneficial to improve your soft skills, because the hard part is I can work with someone teaching them how to throw a ladder, or don an SCBA, throw a ladder, pull a hose. It's hard to teach people communication skills, problem solving skills, you know, decision making skills. You can try, but they're usually not the fun, exciting, sexy stuff that people want to be taught. So that a lot of the soft skills are just learned by good, intuitive individuals that can read the room and, you know, just are very street smart, I guess. You know, other benefits I touched on, you get to work more closely with your command staff. And here's the thing, I hear a lot of people that hate their command staff and want to keep their distance, but then they still want to get promoted. Well, okay, think about what you're saying here. Right now, you hate your command staff, but you want to go up in the organization. So something ain't right there, because if you want to go up, you're going to have to work probably more closely with them at that level. So you better get along with them. I mean, you don't have to exchange holiday cards, but at least have a good working relationship with them. Be respectful, you know, even if they're not, take the high road. That's leadership. But anyway, it gets you a chance to work more closely with the command staff. And again, if you don't respect them now, them, if you don't respect one or more of your command staff members, don't waste your time getting promoted, because you're going to have to work more closely with them. You know, it gets you a chance to learn more about your department, as well as the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, or the threats or challenges. And I say that because you see two terms down there, SWAT and SWAC. If you've never heard that term, you haven't read enough management books. It's sort of a management term, an evaluation term, like how would I best approach it? If I was going into your department as, say, let's say the new, I don't know, a new fire chief, potential spam. I love that on caller IDs. Potential spam. Sorry. If I was going to go into your department, whether it was as a firefighter, captain, any position, the first thing I would do is do a SWOT analysis and a SWOT, because I think the T and the C are both important. Even if I was in your department or my own department, taking a new step, like a promotion upward or another new position, I would still do a SWOT analysis. because anytime you're new to a position, and again, it's something an engine company or truck company captain should be doing. You get to that new company, that new shift, that new assignment, learn the strengths of your crew, not to mention your department, the weaknesses, get out there and train, learn the opportunities, the threats, the challenges. But especially, like I said, as a union board, executive board member, you get to that bigger picture, because again, when you go to those positions, especially company officer up, you're going to get asked questions about your department. How well do you know your department? Not just the history of it, but the challenges too, the strengths, the weaknesses, and so forth. And I talked about, it lets you learn more about the bigger picture. So that said, here we are at the end. Anyway, as always, I'm a resource. Please don't hesitate to connect with me on social media. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you're finding some value to each of these little tips here and there. And until the next one, y'all be safe, take care, and we will see you sooner than later. All right. Have a good one, everybody.